Yeah, yeah, yay. We are live. We are live.
My check, you got me.
Yeah, I think I got you. We need to get on our Facebook and make sure the people can get us. You know what I mean? Make sure these mics are hot.
Yeah.
Everybody's hearing us. But yo. Good morning. Good evening. Welcome
what's
to the Ol Headz Podcast.
what's up? We black folk late, or I mean on time. We on time, pimp.
Yeah, no doubt. Had a couple technical difficulties. We're getting it together though. But welcome to the Ol Headz Podcast. This is grown folks' business. Um, where we talk about life and growing and a growth mindset and getting better just overall in general, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and aging gracefully. So without further ado, I am Tone. That's what I go by on this podcast. You know what I mean? And this is my partner, B White. You know what I mean? This is our second episode, Bob. We just came off that first week, man. How you feeling, man? Welcome, bro.
Man, I feel good. I feel really good. I feel good because we jumped into it and we got at it. We didn't know where it was going,
Oh, sorry.
and I feel like we got a little bit of motion now. I know we ain't nowhere but on Facebook. Uh,
Hold on now. Correction. We on YouTube today too now.
Oh, okay. I was hoping to hear that. That's why I
Yeah.
said that actually.
Yeah.
But see, that's good news because we getting that message out. And today we was talking about accountability and you know, taking ownership of your shit. You know what I mean? So I think we should just jump into it just to get the conversation rolling because you know how short people be these days.
Well, it's funny you say that because I got something ready for this. I honestly been thinking about this all week and what example I could use for taking accountability in my own life, right? And so I'm gonna take y'all back to a moment in my music career. All right. Bob, you remember I was working at Industry Studios.
Right.
I was doing, I think 2009, I think I sold like 150 tracks, something like that, right? I was working every day, 10-hour days, working with some of the biggest artists in the city. And some of them had real influence in the city and things that were going on in the city on
Oh,
the streets.
I was there, brother. You took me with you and I enjoyed it until I didn't.
Right. And
You know.
well, one day we used to have a little TV right there by the, on the right of the console, and it'll be on, might be the football game or whatever, and the news came on, and a young brother had gotten shot in the city in his car, and like they had footage of the car, and the door was open, and I saw one of the CDs that we just released on his seat.
Yeah.
And it led me down. If you know me, like I'll get to going down these thought processes, or I'll start a thought process and I'll go down the lane, and I started thinking like, I signed on to this music shit to save my life, to change my life, right? It was something positive for me.
Yeah.
And as much as I wanted to act like working at the studio and selling beats and doing whatever was a positive thing, a thought hit me when I saw that CD on his seat, because I started thinking, well, what if he had that in his CD player when he got shot? And what if that's what he was listening to, And I started to think, well, as much as I want to act like I'm being positive and I'm not participating, I'm actually providing the soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
I'm making hot music that people want to listen to, and it could be the soundtrack to death and destruction. Is really not helping. And I had to take accountability for my part. As much as I didn't want to, As much as I wanted to say, you know what I mean? It's not me. I'm just coming to work. They do whatever they gonna do. I didn't say it, you know. Nah, that's not how it works. You know. I participate.
You're a part of it.
I'm a part of it. You know what I mean? And if you ever that, and for anyone that's followed my music career or whatever, and you wonder where, like, what happened to Tone? Like, why did he just fade off? That was right around the time I got really family oriented, got married, got, really, bought into the idea of being a father, and so that's a moment for me, bro, where I had to take accountability for my shit.
Yeah.
Which almost, before I pass it to you, it almost leads me to this podcast right here and why we're here right now, right? Because, I'm sure you deal with this, like, being who you've been in your past.
Oh, yeah. See, for me, when I was thinking about this episode, I kind of got excited, but at the same time, I'm like, a lot of people know what I've done, in my past. Some, the shit's embarrassing. For me, I got people running around calling me OG and shit. I don't even like the shit, really. You know what I mean? Just because I know what it referring to, and it's referring to my shit I did in the streets, and they glorifying it, and I don't like that. I really want to be known for something else, like my music, my good heart. I got a lot of good things about me, and that dope dealing and whatever they glorifying out here, it ain't it. You know what I mean? So I wanted to start with my first time I went to prison.
Okay.
All right, so I come out of high school. I'm a little thug. Don't know what I'm doing in life. Just running around with my pistol and selling my little drugs and shit, And one night I pulled a robbery. Did the robbery. Got away with the robbery, I thought, and went on with my life, And some months later on down the line, I hear that they arrested somebody else for my crime. And I justified it in my head. I ain't gonna tell y'all how I justified it because, young people could be real nasty and mean and, evil.
Yeah.
And so I justified. I ran around town acting like I ain't the one that did the crime,
And somebody else is in jail.
Somebody else is in jail for it.
All right.
Now, when I found out, I was just like, it didn't bother me until somebody got caught, right? And I justified it for a while. I told myself he was a bad person. He deserved to be in jail. It's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I told myself. And so one day my daddy calls me from prison and he says, I heard about you out here running around on these streets. What you doing? Now, we can't talk too much because we on the phone.
Yeah.
So I'm reading between the line. And I'm like, I'm wanting the nigga to shut up at this point. Like, I'm like, so he like, fuck that. He like, son, you gonna turn yourself in. And I said, turn myself in. I was like, this nigga done lost his motherfucking mind. He in prison. I guess he want me to come in that motherfucker with him, right? So I'm thinking to myself, nah, he got me fucked up. And anyway, long story short, he planted the seed. And about a month went, because I didn't turn myself in right away. I let about a month go by. I was running around partying with my friends,
But you was thinking about it though? Like
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, you know what? It is wrong. Now, I didn't know I was going to prison. I thought I was going to get probation because it was my first time ever in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought I was getting probation because I'd never been in trouble. I said, shit, well, I got plenty partners that done a lot more than this, and these niggas are still free. So, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go. Didn't work like that. I went to the jail, told them what I did. They got the wrong person. Nigga, they didn't even want to hear the shit.
Yeah.
Because that meant they did the wrong thing. Right? So they was hoping I was just crazy, and but no, turned myself in. I used one of my friends' dads that was a sheriff, Mr. Shepard. So I called him up and asked him to come pick me up, right? Take me down there and deliver me,
Yeah.
And he did, and it was they didn't open the door. I got in that bitch and didn't get out, But I did the right thing.
They didn't think it was as honorable.
Well, no, they got me down there, and because I had a gun, I had to go to jail. And it wasn't no just smacking me on the wrist, right?
Yeah.
So back then, if you had a gun, I don't know what it's like now because I ain't never did this shit again. But you get a cop with a gun, you're gonna go down, and so I went down. I ended up getting what they call a 120-day callback back then.
Okay.
And which gave me probation after I did about a year.
Okay.
So I come back home. I see the brother that, like, soon as I come home, I go to the club. I run into the man that some people know this story, but I ain't gonna say no names, right?
Yeah.
But I run into the brother that was locked up,
Now, does he know that you did it? Like, is he locked up and he knows that you did
No,
the
he
crime?
didn't. He didn't have a clue. He fit the description. Okay, so I'm a light-skinned brother. He's a light-skinned brother, right? And that's the only thing he did wrong was being a light-skinned brother with the MO of the crime I did, right? They just picked him out of the lineup. So anyway, I see him and he's like, it's our night out. He like, man, I love you, brother. He like, I'm thinking he gonna be mad at me and shit, because he did some time, But because he got out, I guess, and got his money, or I don't know what they did for him, honestly.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they gave him some money because he was happy.
Okay.
Because in my mind, he should have been mad, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think he should have been mad?
Kind of, but it didn't. I mean, he was going down whether it was you that did the crime or not, right? Like
he was not going down. It wasn't his time.
Well, no, I'm saying whether it was you specifically who did the crime, like they kind of, they went after him for a crime that got did, not like, oh, Bobby specifically did. You know what I mean?
Because if I had to guess, that little thing probably set him on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Because if you get caught up for some shit you didn't do, imagine what that make you feel like. And you've been out here doing shit,
Yeah. Well, on my own journey, it's something that I learned, and it's a tough one to learn, and it goes to accountability too. But I'm a firm believer that you're always exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. And because there's a lesson there. Now, a lot of the times, especially when we're young and going through our journey, we might miss the lesson or we might refuse to learn the lesson. Right?
The seeds planted, it'll grow.
If the seeds planted,
it'll grow. It might take a while, like seeds do, right?
Yeah. And if I look back on my own journey, there's several times where the lesson was there, I didn't see it, and it took me 4 or 5 times messing up before I actually did see it. But then when I look back, I'm like, oh, the lessons were there the whole time. My ass was just being hard-headed or not being accountable for my own actions, for my own role in it, and looking for, other people to blame. I played the victim for a while, and we all do, especially in this culture. We'll sit here and say, oh, I'm black, so I can't do this, or or
which leads me to my second crime.
Okay.
So first time I go down, I'm a robber.
All right.
I get out of prison. I realize, okay, I need to get back on my hop, but I can't tote the pistol, right?
All right.
So now I'm selling dope. I'm out here selling dope, going hard, getting my money. I got a whole spot. We think we damn near bulletproof. I got the fire set up where if the police kick in, nigga, I can throw the dope and the money into the goddamn fire thing and just put my hands up and be like, hey, I ain't do nothing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we playing this little game with law enforcement, right? Law enforcement got real slick on us.
Okay.
So they got to the point where they was handing out sales cases. Okay. So if they can't bust you with the dope, they'll send an undercover motherfucker, as a CI wearing a wire, and you sell to them.
Okay.
Well, I had a spot. I had my brothers and my cousins. I had a bunch of people selling, right? This particular dude, I knew I didn't sell to because I didn't like him. Like I thought the nigga was a snitch. So I was telling motherfuckers like, don't bring this motherfucker around. But I wouldn't say that in front of him. I when he walked out the door, I'd just look at these niggas. And so I knew it wasn't me, right? So when they gave me the case and we knew who the CI was, I knew it wasn't me. But I was going home and my mom was living with me at the time because I was taking care of her. And I was bitching and complaining about what the white man doing to me. You know what I mean? The white man surveillancing me, he following me, he done gave me this bullshit case. I done had to bond out. And my mom didn't want to hear it, and I was hurt. I was just looking at her like, God damn, take my side. Fuck. I'm your son. Fuck the police. This is how I'm feeling. And she like, baby, the police got a job to do, and you're a drug dealer. And I was like, damn, Mom, I'm a drug dealer. She's like, do you sell drugs? And I was like, well, Mom, I ain't get caught for selling drugs. They gave me a sales case. She said, but do you sell drugs? And I said, but that's beside the point, Mom. I said, fuck, they ain't catch me with no drugs. So she said, no, they caught you with sales, And I said, well, I didn't do the sale. She said, well, you're in the line of business. And, hey, the police just doing their job, right? And it hurt me for a minute, about a year with people feeling that way. But once I got locked up, I think I even got a boot camp case out the deal where I ended up going to boot camp for like 5 months and a week. And it made me tough, man. It really, when you catch a sales case and you feel like it's somebody else's, like I could have told on the people that it was, but I wasn't. So, I'm part of this culture where I'm like, I ain't snitching. I'm going to take it and thinking I could beat it in trial because I ain't do it. But now you probably got the money from it.
So I'm gonna say what anyone who's been watching this is probably thinking, right?
Right.
So you tell the first story and someone goes to jail for something you did. They went to jail for something you didn't do.
Yeah.
And now we're here on the second story. you go to jail for something you didn't do.
That's right.
Right. And that is one that I keep with me forever. Karma is undefeated.
It really is.
It really is.
It really is. And guess what? I've been treated fairly by the system. I can't bitch, complain, nothing. Because if you look at it, nigga, I got boot camp. You know what I mean? They tackled me, they got me off the street. You can correct this if you just come back and do right. You know, I come back, I start selling dope again because I got big dreams of being a music star. And I'm a rapper, and I'm thinking to myself, shit, this is what all the rappers do, you know? So I started my little limousine shit, had my little limousine, had my studio, was, you know, till I got kicked in again and, you know, got caught. This time I got caught red-handed, you know? So, and then I had to do some time because I ain't no snitch. So I know I got to go lay down because that's just what it's like. And you go lay down, and this time when you get your bitch ass out, you gonna walk right and do right, because if you don't, they waiting on you. They waiting on, and they was, you know, I could say some local names. The niggas was trying to get me caught up, you know, as they was catching other niggas up. But I got a sense of the shit, so I understood how close I was to the edge. You feel me? I realized I was right there, nigga. They waiting on you, you know, and all I had. So I knew I had to do right, you know, and so.
Well, and I think that's the point of this episode is, you know, as we live life, we make mistakes, you know, we, thank God, get older, you know. It's this accountability part that really starts it all, right? It is the seed planted when you can look in the mirror and take responsibility for your part. It's hard to do, and for me, that's where I like to deal with everything, is in the mirror. That's the person I like to deal with.
Right? Me too. That's how I am. The exact same way. There's no point, you know, like you can get mad at a motherfucker for anything. Like, for instance, you have a kid with somebody. You mad because of this, and that. I hear it all the time, every day, because motherfuckers is laying down with the wrong person, having babies, and bitching and complaining. But if you lay down with dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas, period. You know what I mean? So blame yourself. Don't get mad at the child that you done produced, because you looking at it with your mama and this bitch talking about your daddy, and, you know, man, fuck all that. Y'all done made this motherfucking baby. This baby's here, didn't ask to be born. And it don't matter about all the politics of the relationship. Now we got a responsibility, and we got to see this through, even though we fucked up and made a mistake. You feel me? And that's accountability.
And, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because, you know, I'm sitting here with a gold record and, you know, a genuine world-class talent. That's not me beating my own chest. That's just what time has shown, right?
Right.
And, you know, through my life, I've had kids.
Yeah.
And I never thought it was fair for me to make these kids.
Right.
Whether, you know, through choices I made, right? Whether it chose to be not to use birth control or not, you know, like whatever it may be, moments of weakness. And now these kids are here. And accountability to me looks like, fuck my career and my own personal trajectory, because these kids need a dad. And not a father, not a sperm donor. They need a dad.
Yeah.
Someone that can guide them through this life. And I love my daddy to death. Rest in peace. But one thing I will say is through his life, he prioritized chasing money. You know what I mean? And there were times where I don't give a damn about that money. I need you.
Yeah.
I got issues. I have something I need to talk about, or and so like for my own kids, I had to really look and say, you know what? What's more important to me is that they have me as a teacher, as a father, as a dad, whatever, mentor over chasing some damn
Hey,
dream that
and hold
might
on.
happen.
Let's talk about being a protector.
A protector.
Motherfuckers really forget that the man is the protector of the whole family.
Yeah.
So you got motherfucking kids, and if you ain't there, you got this bitch with hold on, I'm sorry. This woman with another man. This motherfucker can't be touching on my motherfucking kids and shit. Like a man gotta be present at all times, even, just to be, because motherfuckers is out here lurking, and they'll take advantage of any situation, whether it be a stepdaddy, a little funky ass cousin that's a part of this raggedy ass gang trying to recruit my son, and might be his little cousin or his big cousin or some shit like that, and they need daddy to come through and be like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. No, it's all of that. And we're halfway through the show, so let us stop for a second, just to say what's up. We'll see you in the comments. Looks like we got about 8 people here with us right now live. Man, much respect to you for spending your most valuable asset with us, and that's your time. It doesn't go unnoticed. We're new. We're getting the hang of this thing. But thank you for being here with us as we have this important, vital conversation about accountability and what that looks like and what that means. There's so many examples, Bob. I can, and I'm not going to, but like I can get into my marriage and
now let's do one better than that. Let's take it off for us.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump at what's society.
Okay.
Let's talk about accountability in the form of, for instance, in our culture, we got old ass supposed to be grown ass men still claiming gangs.
Okay.
Still claiming this and that. And what the fuck that got to do with life? And furthermore, I would even go a step further and be like, what has the gang done for you lately? Like this, when I was in prison, I used to ask all the little, Thundercats, what a gang has done for them. Just tell me one fucking good thing your gang has done for you. Because I know they out there fucking on your bitch. I know they out there sonning your son, your kids. like niggas is fucking on your bitch. They don't like your kids. Don't get it twisted. So, and it's your homie. It ain't nobody else fucking them. It's your homie to know where you at. So I've always been like, what is the point of this? And at some point, people got to grow the fuck up. Cause I was in the gang. It was some fake ass shit, And I did this shit, when I was in prison, and shit, I was an insane crip. And I'm ashamed of that stupid shit, because the truth is that was me being scared of the motherfucking Mexicans, because the Mexicans was tripping because I was selling weed in prison. You feel me? And I felt like I needed some protection. So we rallied up the troops, and it was like, okay, yeah, I got some back too, And then I got out of prison, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I wasn't scared no more once I come home from prison. I ain't need to have that. You know, and then I came home and then shit was going on out here in the streets, and people was like, they really want you to be a part of that shit, but I don't want to be, because I see the hypocrisy of it. You know, I see the stupidity of it. You know, when for me, all it took was seeing one of my little homeboys get killed, and he was a light nigga like us. You know, us light skinned niggas don't really get, you know, we get respect in our face, but behind our back, it's like we ain't one of them. You know, that Drake shit. They not like us. That's that shit. Yeah. So, nigga, I seen it with a little homeboy in Topeka named Chris Humphreys, and I was ready to do some damage on some shit I ain't even know these niggas like that. Yeah. And so why am I gonna crash out when these niggas ain't even gonna crash out? Yeah. You know, and I had to just wake up and realize that this shit is stupid. It is just stupid. You know, we gonna crash out for what? You know, and at the time my daughter was born. So, you know, earlier today I posted a little song that I wrote for my children. And the reason that song came about is because I was in prison, right? And when you're going back and forth to prison, you feel like your kids still need to know you, you know what I mean? So you write songs, at least me, I write songs and put them out where they can hear my voice, you know, and they hear the words, and in hopes that it'll comfort them, you know what I mean, when I'm not around. Yeah. So that's that that's that shit.
You know, I think there's a flip side to this, and you know, we talk about this all the time, but you know, I'll talk about it with the fam, right? Like I went to the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within. It was like 3 days, 12-hour days. It was really intense. And I took some very valuable jewels from that. And one of the things I learned there, and it's just a perspective, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fact, but as a perspective, it helps me a lot. And, you know, Tony Robbins will say, there's 6 human needs, and almost every action that a human takes is based on one of these needs, right? And I always butcher them, so I'm not going to go into the 6, but I'll have them next week if anybody wants to know, right? But one of them is significance. So this need to feel significant, right? And if you think about a little dude that joins a gang, right? You kind of alluded to it where you was like, you know, shoot, the Mexicans in prison, I had to protect myself, right? Like, and for a little dude growing up, it's kind of that, but you know, your home might be broken. There's nobody really paying attention to you. Your parents are wrapped up in whatever bullshit they got going on, you know, and these dudes out on the street act like they're your friends. They make you feel significant.
They become your family.
Right? They make you feel significant. So now all of a sudden, everything you're doing is because that sense of belonging is a need that you have. Right. And then you take that in your life. You went through your life. You're 40 years old. Right. And that's all you've ever done. Right. And you look around and you may have friends or family members that are, you know, well off in their careers. They went to college, that, you know, and you're looking at yourself and you're saying, well, all I really have is this street reputation that I had. The time I stood up against the other gang, or the time I bust my gun, or the time I did that. And, you know, it gets into 50, 60 years old. That's all you got. And it's sad, but at the same time, for anyone listening, and you're like, okay, well, what the hell do I do? Right? Find another way to fulfill that need. For me, it's been music, it's been engineering, it's been business, I find different things that fulfill that need of wanting to feel significant. Being a daddy, I feel significant as a dad, so I don't need this to get that need from some toxic ass place where nobody really loves anybody and it's a dog eat dog world, you know. So
Yeah.
I just want to offer that perspective for anyone that's like listening and is like, okay, yeah, we hear y'all, right?
Hey,
But what do I do?
there was this kid that and I know he's probably watching too because we Facebook friends, and he go by the name of Michael Brooks. He's from Kansas City.
Okay.
And he was an 18-year-old that had pulled an armed robbery with his brother. And it was for a video game. They this nigga was a kid, bro. And his brother was I guess the thug, and the kid was with the thug brother, and the brother was holding up a video game place, and his little brother was like, video games. He went there and got some video games, bro, while his brother was holding up the place, right? So guess what? They sent this black ass to prison. And because remember what I told you earlier? Because there was a gun involved, ain't no probation, right?
Yeah.
So he had to do his time. And he came in, he was doing 5 years. So when I got to the facility to where he was at and we was bunkies, I reckon we did a lot of talking and sharing food. And I like to take the younger dudes and take them under my wing so they'll know how to survive that rat race they in, you know what I mean? So I let them know that you ain't got to join a gang, you know. You ain't got to join the Muslims. You ain't got to join the Christians. You ain't got to join the Crips, the Bloods, nobody's. The brothers, sit back, observe, read, get knowledgeable, do your workouts. And so he was struggling because he was from Wyandotte. And in Wyandotte, you gonna be in a motherfucker. Nigga, you gonna choose, right? So there was these brothers that was from his hood that was gonna force him to be in a gang.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, man, you know you bigger than that nigga, right? You know. And he said, well, he's a this and that. I said, well, we in jail and ain't none of that shit in here. You know what I mean? So in here, all they got is these, right? And I was like, if you stand up for yourself, I promise you, man, they ain't gonna fuck with you, my dude. So I took him under my wing and kept that kind of energy on him, right? And he ended up not joining no gang. He ended up doing his time, going home and surviving, and now he's a HVAC dude, got his own little business and shit. You know what I mean? And he's doing well for himself. And I keep in contact with him just to kind of keep an eye and see what he's doing these days. But he's doing positive things. He stayed a positive brother, even though he got locked up and was in that situation. So yeah, oh man, I'd love to have him here just to, you know, have him tell you about some shit, because this little dude got little stories too, you know, just from being in prison and seeing all the stuff he's seen, being from Wyandotte, you know. So yeah.
Well, let me take a second just to acknowledge the chat. What up, chat? I hear them dudes saying that all the time. Now we can say, "What up, chat?"
Oh, what's that?
So you know, we got Icy Rock. This your second time, you know, pulling up for us, man. And you already know how I feel about you. I'm not gonna, you know, I always give that brother his flowers, man. But
as you should, because
yeah, man. To me,
I
that's
never had the honor of meeting him myself.
Yeah.
But he provided us our very first beats.
Man.
Yeah, so that's big.
If you ever hear me talk about my musical journey, I always say I have two Blues Brothers moments. If you watch the Blues Brothers moment when they're in the church and the light come through the church and it's shining down and the music is going, I've got two moments like that, right? One is when I was in YCAT and finding Full Sail, watching a video for Full Sail in 1993 or something, right? Which Full Sail is a school that back then just taught studio stuff, how to be an engineer or whatever not. But as a little knucklehead, I didn't realize music was a career option or a path for me. I thought because I was in Kansas that it wasn't, right? Yeah. I didn't know. I thought you had to be in New York or LA. So that was a moment where the light came down. And then another is the first time I walked into Icy Rock studio and I saw that. I saw all the gear. A young black dude. He's a master at it. And you know me, I'm a nerd, so I'm like, oh man, like this shit is accessible to me. So shout out to Rock, man. John Solero, that's my guy, Rocket. Much love. We appreciate you. He let us know the audio was good. Rock said the audio sounds great. Cool. So that we got that problem solved. Tyler Van, what up, man? Silent Ave. Keep doing that music, bro. We be hearing you. DJ Sincere, what up, fam? Ray Cox.
Yeah, what's
brother.
Up?
Keith Rayton said, it's important for young men to hear what y'all saying. Much respect. It's hard for us to express ourselves at our most vulnerable times. And we agree, fam. And that's a big part of this podcast is us willing to be vulnerable, willing to just turn the camera on and speak. We don't script this. The only thing we knew coming in is today we were talking about accountability, right? And I encourage everyone, especially men, to be a little bit more vulnerable, man. Be a little bit more open with your feelings and how you're feeling and
hey, you got to. You got to. Hey, man, for me, I got to, because my kids as moms is so hard. Like they hard.
Yeah.
And my babies need some love by the time they get done with them. By the time they get done with them, they need a hug and some love. So I had to play the role of like a caring father. I couldn't even be hard because my babies done already been through the trenches. By the time they come to me, it's just like I had daddy know, baby.
Yeah. And that's important, man. Like, with my kids, I definitely encourage feelings and communication. And even if it's a hard conversation, you never know. You never know how Pop's gonna react, but I am vulnerable with my kids. My youngest, man, I almost feel bad for my older two because I was still growing a lot raising them and I was still figuring out a lot. Like this youngest one, he's almost getting the best version of me, and I'm super vulnerable.
But that's supposed to be the case. You're always supposed to be better the older you get. That's the way it happens.
It is. And not that, my other boys, they're awesome. Like all my kids are awesome. Hats off to them. And matter of fact, speaking of my kids, that's why I got this Lawrence Lions on. Basketball season starts this week. We got the first game is up. We taking on all challengers.
Man, you got the new star in town.
Yeah, he definitely coming to dunk on somebody here. Believe that.
I can't wait to see it.
One last oh dang, okay. So I wanted to Jeremy Garcia, that was one of the other comments I wanted to read because this was a good one. Jeremy said, facts. Our kiddos need all parents involved in our kids' life and that street shit we all did so our babies don't have to make the same mistakes we made in life. I tell my kids we must learn from our own mistakes and mistakes that others made as well. I've grown up with both of y'all and see the growth you both have made in life and still continue to grow. Nothing but love and respect to you both.
Already.
Much love.
Hey, I like that. And it's important that the OGs step up and let the young G's know that it's okay to be a man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, man, when I was young, the OGs demanded you be a man.
Yeah.
They didn't even allow none of this shit that going on these days. You know what I mean? If they looked at you and seen that you was headed in the right direction, my little partner Kane, he tell me all the time how, cause he from Wyandotte too, and he tell me all the time how the G's in his neighborhood made sure he didn't fuck up.
Yeah.
You know, like where them niggas at?
I will, that's one thing I will say for, some of my partners in my life, man. Like once we all realize, because I didn't know either, like once we all realized, like, dang, Tone got a little talent, you know what I mean? They would steer me away from things and wouldn't encourage things, or they might even just pay for the drinks for the night because Tone gon', and shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? All OGs like that, all real men who guide people away from this. You know what I'm saying?
Because a
Away
real
from the
OG
negativity.
don't want these babies going through the shit that they went through.
Why would you?
Why would you want to direct a child to prison? You know, that's when I get so mad at these bum ass motherfuckers out here taking these kids and acting like, see, now I'm getting sensitive because we talking about the subject where I see these dudes that's supposed to be OGs, the little local gang around here, and they take the little young nigga on a little robbery and then turn around and this bitch ass nigga snitch on the little oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, you go home. He gets it, but here's the thing: it don't even matter, because that's real passion that he's talking from his heart, right? It really angers that man to see that, and it should. At some point, as a culture, we got to start taking accountability, right, for these kids that we're raising and that we're sending out here into the world, and what are we encouraging, right? Like it's becoming I guess at this point it's been so long. We've been going through it for so long that it's just exhausting at this point. It's tiring. I don't personally understand how we can be in 2025 still trying to be street, bro. Like, especially the ones of us in our 40s and shit 30s, right? Like, I understand being young and full of testosterone and just trying to figure things out, but like, I agree with you. Like, if you still guiding these kids to that, man, you still putting your gang hat on your 2-year-old little son and dressing them up like come on, fam. Like, let's do something. Anyway, there's some more comments, Bob, and I want to get to them because they messing with us, man. So Danny Poole, that's my mama's people, my daddy and them people. You said good to see you and hear from you, Tony. So thank you, sir, for pulling up. Leah Weisman, stereotypically, that's not the norm, Bobby. I think we're talking about vulnerability there because it's hard to catch these in context, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she says stereotypically, that's not the norm, Bobby. Definitely good to show and share your vulnerability. Damn, what is wrong with me? Yusef Harris said, we definitely have to communicate and provide a safe space for vulnerability for our children in the home and the children we mentor in the streets. 100% agreed. Shannon McCauley, she agrees. She's thriving with her oldest grandson. She needs the OGs to help steer him right. Yeah, I don't know if I read that right, but absolutely. And that's part of what this is, Shannon. DJ Slice, that's the DJ that cuts the records that we play. Positivity breeds positivity. We appreciate your message, fam. We appreciate y'all, man. Every one of y'all. That's why I wanted to take the time. If you took your time to comment, I wanted to acknowledge you personally. Thank you again.
I hope we get the comments actually popping because, truth being, we want to get y'all's experience and get the bounce back going because this really ain't about us. This is more about us, all of us.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like this ain't about us as the old heads, because we feel like we all old heads, and the whole point is we all trying to get old. And so the young people that think oh, y'all old and y'all this and y'all that, hey, if you're lucky enough, you're gonna live and get old.
Yeah.
You know, if you're lucky enough, because you got some hurdles to cross over, you know, and life is gonna throw you some curves. It's gonna do some things to you, and if you ain't ready for it, and you ain't got nobody like us that's gonna be positive and show you a way out of that negative mindset, you know, there's a lot to this, and we got to come together as a people.
Yeah, and I want to add to that is because I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking that earlier. Like, you see this, right? This old head sign, and yeah, we got a podcast, yeah, we got music, yeah, we're a group. We're technically we're the old heads, but this is a movement that we just decided to jump out and start, right? For all of us, so we can facilitate these conversations and have a place where we can say, I'm being vulnerable. Here's a vulnerable moment for me. Hey, let's talk about this shit. Hey, let's have the hard conversation, because why not? There's a million podcasts that talk about all the little gossip and all the news and who's humping who and what Blueface did today.
And
right?
We not on no gossip shit.
No. But how many are really like, yo, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. If there's something that we need to touch that y'all want to, discuss, let us know. Because again, this is your movement. This is something for us all to be proud of. Before, Bob, I don't know if you know, but it's 8:53. 7 minutes left. That shit went fast. But before I pass it to you and we go to a close, I want to take a second. We didn't have time. And I even, I had dinner with, it's my mother's birthday. My mother passed in 2019. So happy birthday to my beautiful mother. Happy heavenly birthday.
Yes, yes, sir.
So we were able to get, I'd have to count the generations, but my granddaughter got to hang out with her great grandmother tonight. We did dinner. All the boys came. Grandma got to come. The baby got to come. So I was rushing. I still haven't got a haircut from last week. I didn't even really do my hair today, but because none of that shit matters.
Yeah, what you trying to be a secretary? Yeah. We don't need no secretary shit.
Said, we don't need no secretary. But shit, what the hell was I saying? Damn, I lost it.
The generations of your kids.
Well, I think what I was saying was, so I didn't have time to bring the Go Nuts device because I was gonna bring it.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is huge for us. We had one episode. And now we have a sponsor for our show. All right. Go Nuts. You're going to hear me talk about it. It's a product that came from one of my great friends. I watched this brother. I was on the phone with him when he first started talking about it. We sat there, figured out how to get it done. He took it all the way to Shark Tank, got a deal. We have this dope device, right? And we have a code that gives you a discount, but also kicks back something to us. So we aren't prepared. That's why I brought up the dinner and everything, because I didn't have time to get prepared like I wanted to. I got caught up in family, and fuck it, that's most important.
Thanksgiving was this week, so for y'all spending y'all's Thanksgiving Sunday with us, is actually dope. I know it's football popping and it's all kinds of shit popping, good leftovers, but I feel good about all this, man. Real good. I'm glad you touched on a lot of the stuff you did.
Yeah.
I really am. We bounce well off of each other. I'd like to see us do more of like I said, I want to do more interacting with the people versus
they interacting today.
Okay.
They in here. They going off. It's just hard to read them because they go and then you don't know when they said it and
So
what they
we
responded
need to figure out how to handle that.
Is having somebody else back there that can.
You know what? I got a cousin got a podcast. She said she getting ready to start, and basically she's got like I guess they got like a little crew or something.
Yeah.
So maybe we just doing too much as two people. Maybe we need another. Because that's what y'all was doing down there in Topeka, right? Y'all needed more people to read the comments and deal with that shit, right?
Yeah, with Morning
Poncho,
Madness.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps to have someone back there who can look at but again, thanks for just being here, y'all. Cause y'all know us. We just turning this camera on and doing it, and it ain't got nothing to do with us. It's all about y'all. So grow with us. We're open to any and all advice that you have for us. Shoot it at us. Shoot us a message. Let us know. Hey man, talk about this. I see all of these comments. I really wish we could. I mean, and we ain't got to stop. I don't know.
Hold on.
We ain't
Don't
stop.
Stop. We bosses, nigga.
We ain't got to stop.
Where we going? Deal with the comments.
So Claire Galloway, how you doing?
Yeah, deal with some comments.
She said, just seeing this now, it's great to hear you mentoring the youth here. Absolutely. Thank you. Icy Rock, Love and Light. Yusuf Harris, peace and blessings. Jeremy Garcia, it's a revolving door worldwide, and having old heads like this educating them on the street BS and reassuring them that gang life is not where it's at. Keep educating worldwide, fam. We on it. Shannon McCauley says she's going through it right now with her grandson, thinking he's in the gang, running the streets, doing shit that can get him unalive. He just don't listen at all. And I will say this, Shannon. He listens. Sometimes it takes a while for these things for it all to sink in. I mean, I got my ex-wife in here. She'll tell you, right? Like I start growing up to my late 30s, right? Like in here, in this mindset, and shaking this mindset, because this mindset's got us, bro.
A lot of these people. Just recently, we've actually lost some kids here in Lawrence. That shit's crazy because it don't even happen here like that. Yeah. And so I know Shannon personally, and she's close to the people and the kids that are being unalived, So when it's her grandson, imagine the fear that she has that this is going to happen, because once it happens to anybody, and it happens in our back door, and we know that the motherfuckers is running around out here shooting, and we don't even understand it, because this is our, when we grew up, motherfuckers was fighting and shit. We didn't know nothing about this, especially in Lawrence. Yeah. And now they shooting, and then you hear about them having switches like in Lawrence, nigga, somebody called the popo.
It's an American problem, to be honest, bro. And that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah,
in terms of that, but it's hard for me. It's hard. I want to help everybody.
Yeah, you always doing meeting the kids at the library.
It's hard for me.
And I know, man, it's just nothing. Remember when we did the Trayvon Martin song and you had your kids marching downtown, trying to make a statement and shit.
No doubt. And
with your hoodies on,
yeah,
your bag of Skittles.
Yeah, we was down there like that. Funny, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a whole show in itself. Is how do we save these kids from themselves?
Well, accountability starts with the parents first.
It really does.
So with the parents got to set the example. You can't be a gang member your goddamn self, or you can't be saying that gangs is okay by your friends being gang members. And so if your kids see that, if my daddy is a Crip, then shit, that gives me permission to be a Crip or Blood. You get a kid that's opposing you, and he gonna be the opposite gang of you just to shove it in your face.
Yeah.
You dig?
And so I guess to get into it, I brought it up earlier, right? So if I'm speaking to Shannon specifically,
Let me see some of these comments.
Yeah. You can just scroll. So it goes back to this human need for significance, right? So there's something that your grandson is finding in that group of people that makes him feel significant, important, valuable to the world. Whether we see that as valuable, he does. And until we can replace that, until that can be replaced with something else that makes him feel significant, that makes him feel important, that makes him feel valuable to this world, it's going to be hard because it's a human need and we all do it. We all do it. We all have a need for significance. If it ain't just someone appreciating what we do, or someone giving us a compliment, or someone appreciating your music, or appreciating the podcast, like we all have this need to want to feel important, to want to have worth, self-worth, self-value, and with these kids, that's what the gang is providing them. It may not, of course it's not positive to have switches and to run out here but for them, this may not even be a conscious thing that they're thinking about. Oh, I need to feel significant. It's a need. Just like we need water, just like we need food, right? It's a need. And that would be my advice, Shannon, is do what you can to replace that need with something else. How do you do that? I think it's different for everyone, but I will say this: never underestimate the power of a seed planted. I will say that, and then a lot of the times, the intention is all you need, and the follow up, and things tend to.
The good example, set that good example. Have a stern household. My household is stern, been stern. Motherfucker, no, they can't bring no gang shit up in my motherfucking house. Period. And I got family members that's into that, but they still respect their cousin, and it is what it is. But you just can't have no tolerance of it. You gotta, when my kids was little, and all my kids thought they was Crips, and I say thought because I think they still think they Crips, but not in my house. They do that shit outside maybe. And I say maybe because I'm sure I planted that seed, and them little guys know what it is. And when they little friends be getting in trouble and going to jail, and I just look at them like, hey, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't doing that in my house. So you got to, and you don't do it in your house. I can't see one of your motherfucking kids coming home with a gang member friend.
Nah. And as for me as a dad, I was cutting it off instantly. I'm talking about, you're not gonna listen. I'm gonna hear a song. Right?
Yeah.
I kind of had an advantage because I was so in the music, to where I might have some insight. Like they be like, "Oh, Dad, Lil Wayne," and I'd be like, "This nigga do this," or that's not who he truly is. So
and they drug addicts, like man, I'm looking at the industry like ain't none of them nobody. For real. Not now, granted, they could rap. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, nigga, who are you? What are you saying? What are you bringing to these kids? I can't stand Lil Wayne. Now, I like him as a rapper, as a fan, but as a father, I hate Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, he got the kids drinking syrup and goddamn popping pills. And I mean, Lil Wayne's a dope head. You know? Now, if he gonna say something about how he got successful in his music and teach my baby something, cool. But he ain't. He just a arrogant dope head.
And that was the thing. See, for me, I don't want my kids looking up to dang near anybody.
Nah,
right?
I
They
ain't
should
gonna
look
let him.
up
That's
to me.
idol.
They should look up to their mom, to the people they can actually touch, right? Like I want my kids, and if you've been around my kids, right, it's like they hold me in this very high standard. But you know, I'm honest with them. I'm vulnerable with them, you know, and I'm not going to allow them to idolize some shit that I myself know isn't right. Like this culture is toxic, bro. Like from top to bottom, from how we deal with women in relationships to this corporal punishment mindset that anyone who needs to be corrected with violence. You know, this no snitching shit. Somebody killed 3 little girls in the drive-by, and then the whole community ain't supposed to say nothing. Like that's not cool. That's not how shit goes, right? And the culture, these rappers, these movies, these influencers have somehow got it to a point to where that is supposed to be normal.
Well, I'm gonna say it real quick, like this. I tell motherfucker real fast. If you plan on shooting or doing some shit around me, nigga, I'm telling, cause I ain't part of your crime. You know, I remember one time I had a partner that was getting ready to go shoot up a whole club behind a funky ass bitch. You know, and that's what they be doing. They be getting in their feelings behind a woman. Nigga, ain't nothing gangster about that. You pussy. You know, you in your pussy, and you going out here trying to push it off on society because you mad and you a gangster. Really, you soft because you upset over this bride that's a hoe, you know.
Well, let's call it what it is. It's low emotional intelligence. Yeah. All right. You have a low emotional IQ, which means you don't know how to deal with your emotions. So when anger comes and this emotion is present, you'll go way too far because you don't understand how to regulate it, how to deal with it, how to move on to something else, right? And that's a problem in not just our culture, just in America in general, is people don't take the time to understand their emotion, right? Like,
well, what I'm really trying to refer to is this no snitching shit.
Okay.
Because again, if you around me and you commit a motherfucking crime, I'm not your motherfucking victim, dude. I'm gonna tell on you. Simple as that. You know, because we don't need this bullshit around. I'm not glorifying your fuck ass shit that you're doing. You're not gonna push this shit off on me, you know. And I don't see it as snitching because I ain't part of it. Yeah. If I was a part of it, that's snitching. But I ain't a part of it. And when I ain't a part of it, you're not gonna force me to be a part of it. So you should have been a smart enough criminal and not had other people around you when you did it. Yeah. You know?
And I mean, that's another problem is, now because for criminals, there's a code. And snitching is a code between criminals. You and I do a crime together. I get caught, you don't get caught. And to take the weight off of me, I give you up, right? We have both agreed to do this crime. some citizen that's living their goddamn life and sees a crime, you're a citizen. You're a self-proclaimed citizen at this point, right? You'll tell everybody, like, I'm not in the streets. I'm a citizen, right? I'm a civilian, right? Like, they don't have, those rules don't apply to them. They don't even like
the
in
rules don't even apply to the criminals.
No,
they
snitching. It's
snitching.
very selective.
So
yeah, it's very selective.
Hey man, remember when I was telling you I thought the doors was gonna open up for a brother because I had friends that was out here? My PO back then was Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
Kevin Johnson, I was in there bitching and complaining to him and on some black shit. And he just would let me know, hey, all your friends are snitches. Mm-hmm. That was his way of letting me know you wasting your motherfucking time being a criminal. Because all of your friends are snitches. None of them want to go to jail. And I'm just looking at him like, and he the PO, he knows something I don't know, Yeah. And shit. So why are we gonna uphold the code? These fuck niggas ain't even holding up. Yeah. That's a trick. It's a trick. First one to tell is how it works. Cause they all telling. I could name names on some shit.
I mean, I think the point is the point is like, don't even put yourself in these situations.
That's right.
Like there's so, this is 2025, y'all. All right. There used to be a time in the 80s and the 90s where opportunities were literally limited. They were. Like we're not gonna act like they weren't, right? Like opportunities were limited. You had to do what you had to do, whatever. But like in 2025, your opportunities are damn near endless on what you can do to survive, right? So selling drugs is like the 397th option you should even be considering, right? Because there's so many other things, even if it ain't something just like this, sitting and talking. There's so many other ways to get it that it's a conversation that, like, especially when we talk about my kids, we're not even going to talk about it. It's not, these things aren't something we talk about. We'll talk about chess, or we'll talk about, thinking outside the box. Or did you see this? And that starts at home. And so we have a lot more comments. Y'all tapped in. I added to where the comments are starting to pop up over here, but that ain't gonna help us right now. So I just want to acknowledge some of these people. I'm not gonna read the comments all the way through, but people I just see that showed up, which I appreciate you. And damn, I can't even get to it now. JL Scott, Jamie, what up, bro? We see you. Thanks for tapping in, fam. Jermaine, game time. Thanks for tapping in, fam. Leah, I see you. Leah's all in the comments. Well, she got things to say today. She said it takes a village, though. Parents / home are certainly the starting point, but the individual struggles of parenting are nuanced. It takes a village. Just because it's not my child doesn't mean it's not my issue. Too often folks throw their hands up and say, yep, that tracks. I know the kid's daddy or mom or whatever, and validate the behavior. But we can all contribute to the growth of any child. And I agree.
I like that. I like when we get that kind of feedback, because that's what we need.
Yep.
We need that feedback that's, because we know Leah's into the school education system and stuff like that. So that's her passion,
Yeah.
And so she's coming at it from a professional point of view as a mother as well,
Yep.
And so, yeah, that definitely helps the conversation. And we get all these people involved, from the people who got, because it don't matter whether you got money or not. At the end of the day, kids is kids, and the kids that got money gonna meet the kids that don't got money, and they gonna all come together at one point, whether it's on the basketball court, on a football field, at a school, and they got to be able to coexist, bring each other. You don't want the kids like when I was young, you don't want the kids like me interfering with the upbringing of your child.
Yeah.
Because I was one of them kids that was selling drugs,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't want that kid influencing your kids,
Yeah.
you know, and but you also want to take now if that kid is just so damaged and so street, you gotta let him bump his head and learn on his own, you know, but you cannot allow that little dude to come and interfere with what you got going on with your household. Because it's that easy. It's that easy. The wrong friend will mislead. You know, I seen it. I can't tell you how many kids that I looked up and I seen them doing dope that I gave to them, you know, and they became dope heads, you know, and I'm not proud of that.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So, and I know I did it, and I know I kind of got away with it other than on my conscience. You feel me? I kind of got that off because didn't nobody catch me at that time.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
so and I think to Leah's point here, because I read your latest comment, is I think the point she was trying to make is, yeah, we have amazing kids. And she said in part because we rock, no doubt. But her point is, but mostly because we position them to have other great mentors or folks in their lives. And we were conscious about that. And because more than me, she didn't play. Like with Xavier, like it wasn't no really going over to friends' house. You definitely ain't staying the night. They can come over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just allowing my kids to be tainted by somebody else's little badass kid. And it ain't even their kid, it's the parents, right? Like this is
because they allow it.
Because they allow it.
That's
and then
right.
So if my kid is over there, he gonna be just doing anything, and you know what I mean? So definitely message her, Leah. Nicole, much love. Nicole Dodson. She says she's proud of both of us. And
Hey,
then I
sis.
wanna shout out Dante Garrett. He said he tuning in from North Dakota.
That's what's up.
He's on his wife's account, but so if we see her, that's him.
Right on.
But yeah, much love, Dante.
That's the homie. What's up,
So
bro?
yeah, I mean, we could talk all night. I think me and Bob talked about this. I don't know if we're actually gonna do it tonight, but we talked about maybe coming back on later and turning these lights off and just playing some music. We obviously can't play like copywritten music, but y'all know me. You know where we're at. You see him play songs all the time. We've been playing with this AI stuff, and we have some amazing songs. So we'll get together and if we don't do it tonight, we are definitely doing that soon in the future. Because they're fun. These songs are fun. And they're great. It's good listening.
We could make the recording. The people gonna push play whenever they get ready. Honestly,
yeah, no doubt.
You feel me?
So I think we'll go ahead and end. We did hour and 20 minutes. That's beautiful, man. I don't know how many people tuned in, but every time I look up there, we about in double digits. The comments was going crazy. The chats in the house, like that Ol Headz chat. Yeah, the fam. So
and for those that's gonna watch later, hey, appreciate y'all, because you only got the time you got.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your most valuable thing. So thank you. Please go follow the Ol Headz wherever you're at, Instagram, TikTok. While we're not active as we should be currently, we are planning to ramp this up. And as you can see, we're ramping it up. We're ramping the music up. We're ramping the podcast up. We're ramping the content up because we believe that these are conversations that need to be had, and we want to provide that space. So much love from the Ol Headz to you, and we will see you next week. Let me, before we go, just so, and for the chat, right? So you guys can be prepared for next week and what we'll be talking about next week, because I don't even know right now. which could change, but we got 10 of them mapped out. So we're just going to really try to get those done before we really expand or make too many changes. It's kind of on the job learning at this point. So let me see.
Well, it's about smoke 30, my nigga.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I smoked turkeys. It was Thanksgiving. I smoked turkey.
Yeah, boy, it's time to smoke the turkey.
So much love. Let me see if I can find it real fast. If I can't, you'll just see it when we post the next week's thing. So like, share, please get the word out there. We're trying to grow this thing. We have a lot of plans, fam. Like so many things in the pipeline. We're not about to do nothing. We're currently doing it. Right. It just takes there's a process, right? So next week is going to be on the healing mindset. A deep dive into breaking old programming, unlearning survival habits, and shifting the way we think so we can actually grow, right? Getting into this healing state of mind, right? And let's get to healing. Much love, fam. We'll see y'all next week.
Already. Next week.